Uh, can I call you by your first name or
Yeah, yeah,
Mr. X?
yeah.
So Charles, I'm here
Please.
with Charles, and Charles, we're recording this. Is going on YouTube. I did a session for you before, and that was about 6 months ago. Is that right?
Exactly.
So we were just talking just now, and you said some things that I think would be really useful to other guys. Really kind of explain some concepts of, hey, here's how our subconscious works. And we're going to go over, oh my goodness, this stuff really works. This stuff I do really works. I mean, I used it to fix myself and improve myself. And now you see the process too. But then you were talking about getting triggered and whatnot, which really illustrates some other very important concepts. So to start out, we did a session 6 months ago. What were you struggling with? And you don't have to go too personal because this is going on YouTube, whatever you're comfortable with. But what were you struggling with? And then what happened after the session? What was it like after the session?
Yeah, so I struggled with anxiety, but the problem was it was really irrational anxiety. So I kind of knew the anxiety is not legit,
Yeah.
but I was not able to willpower through it. Like I took CBD oil, ashwagandha, L-theanine, you name it.
Mhm.
But I always had this really strong emotional response, which was anxiety, no matter what I did. I was looking at people that don't have anxiety. I was like, how can these people be so chill? I just realized
Yeah.
at age 26.
And it didn't make sense. It's like, why do I have anxiety right now? I'm fine. Is that right? Is that what you mean by irrational?
What I mean is I knew it's like overblown. I
Yeah.
knew it, but I had no idea why.
No, other people weren't freaking out like this. Okay. So we did a session. What do you think was at the root of it?
Yeah, so we did a session. The first 2 weeks I spent in this, how do you call it when babies are born too early? They put them in this tube or in this
Yeah, the in incubation.
incubator. Exactly. I was in there, and when we did the session, this came up. But then we had to go even deeper, like even further back. And in my mind, I was like,
How far back did we go? Do you remember?
yeah, yeah. In my mind, I was like, what does Ryan mean? I need to go back. And then suddenly, I was in the womb of my mom. And the problem was, I have a club foot, or better say, I had a club foot, and my left foot was blocked in the womb of my mother. And suddenly, my whole leg or foot was numb in the session. I was like, oh no, this cannot be
Yeah,
serious.
that was crazy, dude.
This was great. Reading back, I loved it, man. I was like, no,
Am I right or wrong? You had trauma over being born in this way where you had this club flip block, because what I remember too, this was 6 months ago. I remember we take you back to when you're being born. You're like, my foot. And you had some anxiety and trauma just over this traumatic birth. Am I right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And then after the session, I was so relaxed. I felt like this after my Vipassana meditation retreats. When I meditated for 10 days straight, like 7 hours a day, I felt like this after these retreats. But I felt like this without meditation. I was like, something deep changed. I was walking through the streets of Berlin. I lived in Germany back then. I didn't have that much money, but I was just happy. I was like, oh man,
yeah.
Crazy.
You had a little bright spot in you, a little bright spot of happiness. Is that right?
It just felt like, my happiness went from 8 out of 10 just to 10 out of 10, like instantly.
And what do you think happened there that led to that?
I thought subconsciously my body was telling me, no, the world is a scary place, because as soon as you were born, you were stuck in this thing and you didn't see your mom. You need to be, you're not allowed to be
incubator. Yeah, traumatic birth, and then you're in an incubator and can't even see your mom.
Yeah, so my brain told me, my nervous system was like, you need to be aware of your surroundings, but maybe it happens again. You never know. The world is hard, so you're not allowed to be happy, because you could die.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also maybe.
Go ahead.
No, I think what would be valuable for the viewers as well, the things I did after the session, because I was always afraid to get a business mentor, and I had the perfect business mentor in front of me, but I didn't book the call to invest because I was just scared. After the session,
of spending the money.
Not only spending money, but just to go for my dreams, to go for it. And then I was like, I had no anxiety. I was like, let's do it. If it fails, I will find a way. I did it 3 months later. Now I'm no 6 months later. Now I'm independent. I'm living with my girlfriend in Poland. I'm having my own business. I had 2 newspaper articles published about my story because I had the guts to go for it. Just my whole life. You know, as soon as this changed, this changed. It's insane.
Very important concept here. Everyone watching this, listen up. People say, when I become rich, then I'll be happy. When I get the perfect girlfriend, I'll be happy. When I, get my bench press to a certain level, or get my body fat down or my weight down, then I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But the key is you change your inner world, and that gives you the power to get unstuck and then go for those things that you want. You change your inner world first, and then you get the outer stuff you want. Not you get the out. I'll be happy. I will feel good when I get this outside stuff. And then you see people in Hollywood, Robin Williams kill himself, Heath Ledger, drug overdose, Owen Wilson, suicide attempt, Marilyn Monroe killed herself, Amy Winehouse, all these beautiful, rich, wealthy people, fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Get your inner world. But keep going.
I felt like I had I felt like I had a handbrake on, you know, in the car. I was driving with the brakes on all the time. But then I just released the brakes and I went.
Got you unstuck. So amazing.
100%. 100%. I was mind blown. I was walking around. I was like, am I supposed to feel like this? I feel chill. I feel happy. I feel like I'm supposed to feel like rationally, you know? Yeah, it was really like refreshing to see. Just refreshing to see how normal people actually feel, because I was living in this illusion. I thought like this is normal to feel like this. Like the rest of my life would be like this, I thought.
Yeah, now, did I tell you at the end of our session, we kind of do an interview we kind of, after the session, I'll talk to you a bit. And did I tell you about the layers of the onion?
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You clear away one trauma, and then after a while, you notice some other stuff is underneath.
Yeah, but I forgot about this actually. Yeah, I forgot about it. It makes sense.
Does that apply to you at all? Because it's been 6 months since our session. What have you noticed?
The anxiety came back to a degree, but especially because I was in a relationship before, but my girlfriend was with her parents. Now she came back, and now since she's back and we see each other more often, and all the traumas came. So, I was kind of annoyed.
Now, do you think there was some permanent benefit to the session 6 months ago?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, still.
Okay.
Still. Mm-hmm.
But what you're telling me is that you were doing really great, but there was a circumstance that changed, which your girlfriend is now with you and she wasn't before. And is that causing more anxiety?
Also, yeah.
Yeah. Now I will say, you can do a session, and yes, there's typically some permanent benefit, but yeah, you can have a little of some of your normal stuff come back. But it sounds to me like you got unstuck. You're doing great. Correct me if I'm wrong, but now your girlfriend's in the picture more. And is she causing more anxiety, or what's going on?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's me causing anxiety to myself. But I realized that I had other traumas that now come to the surface. Yeah, I think the anxiety. The anxiety, I don't really know. I think my lifestyle's not that good. I'm not sleeping well because I'm in the business now, so I'm not really used to that stuff. Okay. But I think it's hard to tell if it's her that caused anxiety, because I didn't really follow up also with the audios you sent me. I think maybe that's also an issue. Okay,
so yeah, everyone who does a session with me gets self-hypnosis audios to kind of build on, maintain, but also build on, add to what I do in the session. And so, yeah, listening to like at least one a week can really help. But I understand. So this layers of the onion I was just talking about is we can clear a subconscious trauma or a false core belief or something that's holding you back. And now you're doing great. And there is, would we agree, there's some permanent benefit to that. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So we peeled off one layer of the onion. It's gone forever. But what I tell people is after a while, you start noticing other things and other subconscious trauma or bad core beliefs. A false core belief or a bad core belief is just it's a belief that formed in our childhood that is now static. It's now like set in stone in our subconscious, or it's kind of like when we were children, our minds are like soft clay. Now they're hardened. Hypnotherapy makes
Mm-hmm.
it soft again, so we can reshape it. But
Mm-hmm.
there's other programs down there. There's other a false core belief is a belief that holds us back, that keeps us from being our best self. It's based on some sort of misinterpretation we had as a child. We interpreted something wrong. As a child, it absolutely looked like a correct interpretation. We saw, oh, the world's dangerous here, or this bad thing happened, it means this. So we go in, we reprogram that. But as you can see, other stuff comes. The thing that was causing the most pain is gone now, or diminished at least. Now there's
Yeah.
other stuff coming up. Do you feel that applies to you, or no?
Yeah, I think the anxiety causing trauma is diminished. I think it's still there to a degree.
Uh-huh.
Like all the things came up, but maybe all the things came up because I'm also more aware for what to look for, probably.
Exactly, 100%. So the session I do gives you some permanent benefit, but it also can put you on a path towards making things better and better and better. And the process is, we go inward, we clear trauma. It makes us more self-aware, so that we're more aware of other stuff that's down there, and then we clear that too. And now,
Mm-hmm.
in addition to that, this stuff is down there messing up our lives, whether we're aware of it or not. It's messing up our lives. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So becoming aware of it isn't really make things worse. It just, we're now aware of stuff that's already down there. So are you okay with talking about any specific triggers you have now?
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
just talk for another minute or two and then wrap this up, because we're going to do another session today. But
yeah, for
what are
sure.
some things happening now, that you're getting triggered on? And then we'll talk
Yeah.
about triggers. But what's going on there?
I have two things that I realized. First of all, when I realize that I disappoint someone, especially when it's hard for me to stand for my own needs. I realize for my girlfriend, for example, for her, it's way easier to tell me, I don't want to do this right now. I need to look after myself. I need to rest. I need to do this. But for
Mhm.
me, it's extremely hard to tell people what I need, especially if I maybe disappoint other people. This evokes a strong emotion in me that is not normal.
Have you seen my video on my innermasculine.com about toxic shame?
I think I saw it about 6 months ago, not
Okay.
recently.
Yeah, it's all about not putting yourself first, feeling like you're not good enough. Um,
Yeah.
you know, putting others up here and you're down here. Um,
Yeah.
so we're going to work on that. Now, are you okay with talking about you said your girlfriend, does she trigger some anxiety sometimes? And again, this is going on YouTube, so if you want to keep it personal, then
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Especially, I just realized, rationally speaking, I should not be really insecure. I make, 5 figures, especially in Poland. I make 5 figures a month, and I'm a pretty, I would say, muscular, good-looking guy, and I should not feel insecure. But when she talks about other guys, maybe that she saw before me, or her ex-boyfriends, I'm getting triggered every time. I have like this insane nervousness that comes up, like almost like because all the girls left me before for her ex-boyfriends, and I always feel like, oh, there's someone better out there. I know almost, okay, there's someone better out there, like I just feel like there's something, just people are better, all the guys especially are better, and
yeah,
I don't know if I'm overcompensating with the whole making more money, looking better. I don't know if I'm overcompensating with that. I think there's just a
and
sense of not being good enough.
yeah. So a little about Charles, you're making 5 figures a month, so you're killing it financially, and you have a great physique, man. Like, what's your body fat? Like 10%, 8? I don't know. You're pretty ripped,
uh,
dude.
Right now, not, but yeah, if I really go hard, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like Calvin Klein underwear model, you physique.
Thank you. Almost.
Uh,
Almost.
well, and so this is the thing is people say, when I achieve these outside things, then I'm gonna feel confident. It's like that's not how it works. How it works, I'm gonna explain the subconscious now, and we're gonna tie this into what's happening with you. is when we are young, when we are born into this world, we have a little bit of instinct. That's it. So our brain is just absorbing everything around us and it's writing these subconscious programs, meaning our brain observes everything going on around us when we're children, when we're babies, and it's interpreting it because our brain is trying to figure out what do I need to know to survive in this world? So our brain's trying to figure out what are other people like, what's the world like, what parts are safe, what parts are dangerous. Then our brain's trying to figure out who am I, what's my value. Humans have evolved in a hierarchy-based society. It's been you see hierarchies throughout nature, and there is actually some survival merit, at least back in caveman times, which has been 99% of humans' existence is hunter-gatherer caveman times. There has been value to learning where you fit in the hierarchy, because if you're this weak small guy and you challenge the alpha of the tribe, he's probably going to kill you. This is how it is in ancient times. So we've evolved to kind of figure out, okay, where do I fit in the hierarchy? So we're trying to learn that when we're young and we're evolving. What are men like? What are women like? What's everyone else like? What's the world around me like? We're interpreting our observations and figuring things out. That gets put into our subconscious. And by the time we're 8 years old, 75% of our subconscious programs have been written. By the time we are 14, 95% has been written. And then our subconscious mind solidifies. It's very impressionable, malleable when we're younger. And it becomes like as we get older, our subconscious mind it's kind of like a DVD that just plays over and over again. Now, most of the time, we're not aware of what's playing on the DVD player or audio player or whatever. But what happens is if we have a feeling deep down, and this feeling you have like insecurity, like it's very, very, very common to men, because our society says, men are bad, and masculinity's toxic, and you gotta put women on pedestals, and this is a gynocentric order. Women are way up here, and you got to supplicate to them. When men propose marriage, they get on their knees. Men pay for all the dates, and then we're told, well, yeah, but men are the perpetrators in society, women are the victims, and yet they're empowered. And we get some very confusing messages growing up. And we're taught that, yeah, traditional masculinity, the patriarchy is oppressive, and feminism has permeated so much of Western culture that you're gonna get this growing up, and that is going to lead to feelings of maybe I'm not as good as others, or a woman, and our brain evolving to kind of figure out, well, where am I in this hierarchy based structure? And we get messages that when we're young that, well, you're low in the hierarchy. If we interpret that, we interpret others are better than us based on how we're treated as children. That program solidifies, and whether aware of it or not, it's just like a tape playing over and over. It's a static program in us as adults. But what happens is, most of the time, for most subconscious programs playing, most of the time we're not aware of it. But if we have it down here, and then in the outside world something happens that's a match for this feeling buried deep down, it spikes that feeling, this insecurity, or whatever it may be, fear, insecurity, painful trauma, it can spike depression, it spikes it to the surface, and then we become aware of it. So you're talking about your girlfriend, and this is an excellent example of that. She will do something in the outside world to confirm this feeling you have deep down. Can you see that in your life? Can you see this happening?
Yeah.
So let's go over what is happening. She will say something, and then what insecurity is spiked?
For example, when she's on Instagram, and she sees a guy that is like good looking, she's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see this. Our guy's a nice style. He's kind of good looking, just like as a comment.
Yeah.
And I just like get super nervous. I'm like, oh, he's good looking, but he has a better beard than me. He has more Instagram followers.
Yeah.
if she would meet him in person, she would like him more than me. Just like irrational thoughts.
Yeah, and she's not trying to make you jealous, and just
No,
whatever.
no. It's just a comment, like it's a comment, like just like casual. Yeah.
Yeah, so what this is subconscious program. And it's based on your childhood. We'll do it in a session, but we're going to clear it. We're going to clear it. We're going to take care of it. But when we clear out a subconscious program that, toxic shame, I'm not good enough, or I can't get what others want, or, I'm not really good enough for this person, I don't really deserve this person in my life, whatever it may be. 90% of guys have this to some degree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very common. And I think it's great that you like, do you have a website you want to plug it real quick?
Unfortunately, it's German. It's I'm a German online fitness trainer. It's a
on
www
Oh, go ahead.
or www. Even my Instagram is better. It's coach.charles.official. I do English stories there, but I have German content.
Well, and you have pics there, and guys will see your physique, and you're like, have the physique that most guys aspire to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have very successful six-figure alpha male dudes come to me all the time, and it's surprising because even they can have these insecurities. This is very, very common, and I think it actually is very helpful for guys who feel like, oh, I'm really not as good as others, and maybe these guys are, haven't worked out and don't have the physique and aren't making the money yet, and they think, well, that's why I don't feel good enough. It's like, well, no, you could get the physique, you can get the baller income, and your girlfriend quite attractive as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's a babe, right? So,
Oh yeah.
so you can get all those things, but
Oh yeah.
that does not change the subconscious program. If you have this feeling inside, getting the outward stuff doesn't change it. So what we do is we go in and we clear it. And just like what happened with the first set, whatever we clear, it's gone forever. It might come back a little bit, and we may not get it all. It may be you have this subconscious program, and I get like 70% of it in one session. So it's permanently a lot better, but there are other programs down there that now that we've cleared this one, these other programs, which are almost always not quite as bad. It's like the program that causes the most pain is the one that we notice in our daily life. And when that's cleared, then there's other somewhat less serious programs underneath, and they cause us pain, but we're like, well, I am doing overall better. And it's like, yeah, you're doing better overall because the worst program is gone or mostly gone. And would you say your life is overall better now than 6 months ago?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
sure.
Awesome. So now you're seeing there are other things to clear. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
So what we do is we clear them, and you, like you said, you're becoming more aware of your inner world. So the self-hypnosis audios, I actually, I did not have anyone do a live hypnotherapy session for me until 2 years after I started listening to self-hypnosis audios. And I had I had manic depression. I had completely cured it long before I even had a live session. The audios can be very helpful as long as you know how to use them, and as long as you're aware of the trauma in you. Then the self-hypnosis audios, you can clear that. There are other stuff to clear, and the thing I'm excited for you, Charles, is we're going to clear more and more. Things are going to get better and better. You're going to kick more and more ass, and I thank you so much for letting me interview you and just show these concepts of how triggering works, that these programs are down there all the time. They get triggered when, a comment your girlfriend makes, or how toxic shame works, how widespread it is, even for successful, good-looking guys, buff dudes. Many guys struggle with this. And that we peel back one layer of the onion, and now there's other layers to clear. Well, we're going to use the same exact technique we used before in your first session. And again, you can get that from the self-hypnosis audios, although when I guide you through this, it's more effective. We're going to use it all and just keep clearing more and get you kicking even more ass in life. So I'm excited for that. Is there anything you want to share with the audience? Any questions you have for me or comments?
What is interesting is the more personal you think your problem is, the more universal it is. Because I mean, I thought maybe other guys have it, but when you say 90% of guys have it, I think that's actually true.
To
Yeah,
some degree, 90% have it.
yeah, some degree. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We don't
yeah.
see
Because
what's going on in people's inside world.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Because I also first thought, I got the physique, now I get the money. Now, before my girlfriend was back, I was like, maybe I'm not happy because my girlfriend is not here. Now I have every one of these three aspects. I should be super happy, but I'm like, there's still something, like you can make as much money as you want. It's if you don't clear your inner side, it's not going to work for sure.
Yeah, and
100%.
how many guys do you think maybe they're a guy that is overweight, not making the money he wants, doesn't have a hot girlfriend, looks at you and you're like, that guy, how many guys do you think look at you and your Instagram or whatever, your Facebook page, whatever, and they say that guy has a killer physique, his girlfriend's hot, and he's making money. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as that guy. And then they feel, man, no one knows these insecurities I have, and everyone else seems to be
Yeah,
doing better. They look at someone like you, and they're like, well, that guy has it going on. But then here you
yeah,
are, and you're like, man, I got insecurities too. And it's like, welcome to the
yeah.
human race, buddy. You know?
Maybe I acquired all these things because of the insecurities, right? Maybe, what was before, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, yeah. So thank you so much for having the courage to share some, personal things about yourself, but that will be really beneficial to other guys.
For
Um,
sure.
anything else you'd like to share? Any questions you have for me before we end the interview?
No, all good. I think the sooner you work on your inner self, the better. And professional help is always the way to go. I mean, I'm a coach myself. I have a business coach as well, and now I have you. So I mean, like the money you can always get back, but you can never get back the time. And if I look at the last 6 months of my life, oh man, it has been an awesome ride. But your session the session with you in July was like the starting point for sure.
What would you
Yeah.
say to any guy that's thinking about going down this path of clearing out traumas, reprogramming your subconscious, taking out the
Mm-hmm.
bad, putting in the good, doing it, maybe
Mm,
doing a session with me, what would you say to anyone considering that who's undecided?
I think they have. I think they have no idea what is going to happen to them. It has way more benefits than I thought. So I would just say that we can always get back the money if you think a financial investment is too much, but it's worth like 10 times more for sure.
Awesome,
Like
man.
it's insane. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Especially, so I should say, especially if you are a guy, that wants to improve all his life areas. If you're into personal development, this will like be the catalyst, like the push. It will leverage all of your main life areas for sure.
Yeah, I think this is the foundation. You get your inner world better where you're feeling better, and then you work on the outside stuff because you're gonna have more power to do it then. You're gonna
Yeah.
feel better. You're gonna feel like doing it more. You're not gonna be held back and weighed down by anxiety and insecurities.
Oh yeah,
And it
for
is a
sure.
process. It is a process too, but it still the stuff we do is very powerful, and it's still a process. But use every tool you got, man. Hit the gym, get that physique, go out, kick ass, make money, get the girl, but then get your inner world right as well. Just do it all.
Yeah,
Every
for sure.
tool. So
For sure.
thank you very much, sir. And we will conclude the interview, but I appreciate you being willing to share.
Awesome.